So I am back with an encouraging word. I couldn't wait to come on here and say something about this. I actually wanted to say it when I got the revelation about it last night, but something was just like, no. So then this morning I was like, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do it. But I was just like, no, I didn't want to. And then so I sat here and I did my daily reading, and I'm glad I didn't because I just had a huge revelation while I was reading. So I'm glad that I waited because then I can share all of it with you and I have scriptural behind it. So, brief history though, probably about it's probably 3-ish now, years ago. I was in a situation and I was praying and I was sitting in a parking lot and was like, God, I don't know what to do. And I prayed a specific prayer, and I was like, God, I need a sign. Give me something. Show me. Give me confirmation. And then I'm like, but I don't know what to ask for, because if I ask for something, I'm the type that's going to sit there and overthink and dissect it, many, many, many times. So it was like, truthfully, if you give me something that I asked for a sign, am I truly going to believe it? And then if it doesn't happen, then I'm going to blow it off like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have asked that. So while I was sitting there having that fight in my head, I just heard I don't want to say a voice, but a strong thought, and it said, ask for a cardinal. Where I'm at, yes, I'm in the state, that's our state bird, but I hardly see them. Very hardly see them. And I remember my grandma always saying, I see a red bird, don't see two, so I'm going to see someone I'm not expecting to. And so that was something that I grew up hearing because I hardly ever saw him. So then I keep on praying or just, talking to God. I'm still sitting in the car, and off to the side, like out of the corner of my eye, I see some rustling in some leaves. I was in a park at the time, and I'm thinking, in my head, it's just a squirrel or whatever. And just something made me turn my head and look, and right there in those leaves was a cardinal. And I was like, okay, I'm listening. So then when I would pray, not all the time, I didn't make it a habit, but I would pray and I'd be like, God, show me a cardinal. That was my, show me a cardinal if I'm taking the right step, if I'm going the right direction. Now, please let me insert this here now. Do not depend on signs to be confirmation from God. For me, I think it was a time that he was just God was pulling me in and he was helping me get walking. But as you mature, you don't ask for those things. Now, there are times that I may say, God, show me something or whatever, and he will show me something. He'll reveal something. And now when I see cardinals, it's more of, God, just show me a cardinal to let me know you're still here. Everything's on track. Something like that. Or just, God, show me a cardinal to let me know that you love me, that I'm doing right by you. Just something that simple, and he will. So anyway, I am trying to do better in my life and everything, but there was one of my favorite verses is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, lean not to thy own understanding, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. So then this, like going on my last message that I had on here, was, okay, where are you guiding me in these steps? Because I'm not feeling you're directing me anywhere. So it was kind of a thought, not something I really sat there on. And so this morning when I was hold on, let me back up. So yesterday, I started because I had torn my MCL, so my knee has been slowly healing. It's got a lot better, and I kept praying, God, I can't work on my weight, I can't work on my health, I can't go and exercise if I've got a hurt knee. And so I was like, if you can heal that, then I promise I'll. So he has healed my knee. It's not 100%, but it's definitely way better than what it was, to where I can walk and not need, crutches and things like that. So I'm keeping up my part of the agreement. And so I told my daughter yesterday, because she was home from school, and I was like, let's go to our fitness center, and I'll start on the bike. That was my thought. That was the first thing. So then as the morning went on, I was like, well, you know what? I found on TikTok, there's a lady for people that have knee problems or that are, extremely overweight, that they can just do chair fitness. And I had done it once, and it was awesome as far as the workout, but it was, constant. But anyway, so I was like, well, I can do that instead, and then I won't have to leave. I'm doing it on my lunch break, blah, 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 blah. But then it kept saying, go ride the bike, go ride the bike. I kept getting that thought constantly, and I was like, okay, God, that must be you. So I'm going to listen to it, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's what we did. Sure enough, I'm on the bike, and I'm riding, and where we're looking out kind of onto a tennis court, and there's trees and all that, and sure enough, there goes a red cardinal. And at the moment, it was just, and because I always say, hi, God, I love you too, and I don't think too much about it. So then I started thinking more and more throughout the day, and I was like, that was God showing me of directing my path. Something as simple as that, just a strong thought that kept repeating, no, go ride the bike, go ride the bike. And then him showing me the cardinal was him way of saying, this is what I wanted you to do. This is me directing your path, just to show me. So when I was reading, the verse came, because sometimes it comes in pieces because I don't remember all, the whole verse. But it was about, we make, and I'm paraphrasing for right now, we make the plans in our hearts, but God is the one that directs our steps. And so I looked it up, and sure enough, it's Proverbs 16:9. A man's heart devises his ways, plans his ways, but the Lord directs his paths, directs his steps. So it was just all, huge revelation when that came to me this morning, because it was, yes, God is directing my steps, because I need to have enough faith in him. Yes, I don't have faith in me to hear and to know what God is saying, but I have enough faith in him that with that bicycle, he kept giving me bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. That word just kept repeating in my head. That was showing me, this is what I want you to do. You're trying to make another plan, but this is what I'm putting in your head. This is what I want you to do. And it was just like a firework going off to sit there and say all the things that I have been being led to pray for, being led to, this is the direction that my life is going, that no matter what the circumstances look like, that he's got this in my heart, he's got this in my head, that anytime I don't want to pray for it, with the house thing, it looks like it's never going to happen because my credit score actually looked like it's gone backwards. And I'm like, God, I don't understand. Just a few months ago, it was like everything was falling into place, and now, it's like the bottom fell out. But he keeps throwing in my head, look on Zillow. It keeps throwing in my head, pray about it. And I was to the point, it's like, I don't even want to pray about it. I don't want to think about it. Just, if you're going to do it, and I'll be happy. But until then, don't let me focus on it. So my takeaway from all of this that I want to share is, if it keeps being a strong thought, if it's something that keeps coming up and you can't let go of, then God is trying to tell you something. Now, whether it's to do it or whether it's to not do it, you have to get that discernment, and you've got to pray on it. But in my situation, I had already been praying about it, and the revelation that came was the answer of, bicycle. I'm going to keep putting this thought in your head to let you know this is the direction I want you to go. I had a different thought and was going to go a different way and stay and just do an indoor aerobics something. But instead, God was like, no, I want you to go the bicycle. And him showing me the cardinal was, this is where I wanted you to go. This is where I wanted you to do. You had your own plans, but you did what I wanted you to do. And that's where obedience comes in. Obedience is better than sacrifice. That one just came to me, and I don't know the verse, so I apologize. But during my reading was when those words came up of God directing my steps, but I couldn't think of the whole thing at the time, but I remember it being my plan. Whatever a man plans, God's going to direct those steps. And then that's when I looked up that verse, and I was like, that's it. And he showed it to me. So I hope this brought you some encouragement. Merry Christmas Eve to anybody out there. And I apologize. I've got sleeping dogs on me, so I'm not in a position to be all hopefully cute looking. I did wash, so my hair is drying and pretty. I love you. And again, you can't sit there and say you don't know me. You can't love me if you don't know me. God's word calls us to love everybody. I'm supposed to love enemies. I'm supposed to love people I don't know. So know that you are loved. If you feel that you're not, know that I love you. If you feel that you have nobody that's thinking about you or praying for you, I do. I may not know you by name, but several times I will say prayers, and God, anybody that's dealing with this situation, anybody that's going through this, and if you fall into those categories, I have prayed for you. So know that you're not forgotten. If not by man, you're not forgotten by God. And hold on to him. And whatever you're going through, he's going to direct those steps. He's going to give you those strong words, those strong feelings, those, like, he's not going to leave you alone. It's going to keep eating at you until you surrender, until you say, okay, God, whatever you're saying, tell me what you're trying to tell me, and I'll do it. And he's not doing that to be a pain. He's doing that because he wants you to come to him, because he has something for you. And I can't wait till I get to my here. But I do want to be an encouragement in the meantime, and I do want to be transparent. And so, yeah, my last video, I did want to go back and delete it, because, yeah, I don't know. I don't go back and listen to them, because I know if I go back and listen to whatever I've said, I'll erase it, because I don't, whatever. So, I get a little embarrassed, and I'm like, should I have said that? Should I not have said that? Critique it too much. But I feel the Lord laid on my heart when I post these things. It's whatever he wants me to share, so I'll leave it alone. So I pray that you forgive me for my my emotional state at the time, but I was being raw. I want you to see it's not always an easy ride, but it is so much better with him. And the lows are not too low, and the highs are not too high. And that's what you want. You want the constant. I'd rather have the constant joy, the constant peace, than to have the one day I'm up here and having, I guess, bipolar behavior up here. I'm so happy I can't stand it. And then something happens, and 3 hours later, I am depressed and don't want to do anything. And in my situation now, if I have a moment to where I'm down, then all I have to do, yes, I go through that moment, I have those emotions, I talk to God, I call on Jesus, and then a couple hours later, I realize I'm sitting there smiling and don't know what I'm smiling about. And that's the peace and the joy that he brings you. And it's hard to understand it unless you experience it. Let him show you. Taste the Lord and see that he is good. And it was hard for me to understand that, because I'm like, how do you taste? But it's like getting a taste of a good friendship, getting a taste of a good relationship, getting a taste of experience. That's the word I want. Experiencing something. When you experience something, you taste something, and you realize how good it is. You're not going to be satisfied with anything else, with anything less. You want that. So that's what it is. Taste of God. Experience God. Experience his goodness. Experience when you feel his love. And it's so weird, because yes, it's hard to imagine, how can I feel a love from a being I can't see? You can feel it.